Welcome to Wade Global Assignment Book Review Series. In this series, I will be reviewing each of the several books God has enabled me to author and publish. Stay tuned and God bless you. Today, I'm going to do a review on my book, Codes, Rules, and Values for College Students. Codes, Rules, and Values for College Students. This is a special book dedicated to young people from the ages of 13 to 25, 30. This book is my contribution to human development. The book is titled Codes, Rules, and Values for College Students. This book is a must-read for all college students. Every organized society has a form of government. Even animals and other creatures like ants has a system of governing themselves. For any society to live in peace and actualize their personal as well as corporate aspirations, there must be rules and regulations to guide their day-to-day conduct and behaviors. The primary and the secondary schools anywhere in the world forms the basic character of any society or any nation. The moral quality of these basic institutions determines the culture of the society at large. There is an urgent need to rescue our basic public and private institutions from moral decadence. High-level misbehavior and corruption has infiltrated into our institutions of learning, such that many of our young ones tend to be worse by the time they come out of their colleges. It is so bad. It is so bad. But in this book, I have made a strong challenge to managers of both public and private institutions, like secondary schools, colleges, in particular, to design their curriculum to address the moral needs of our young ones. It's so important that our institutions, primary and secondary schools, design their curriculum, their syllabus, to ensure that there is moral quality in the syllabus. Otherwise, we are going to lose the younger generation. And as the world continues, the quality of leaders will continue to go down, except this urgent attention, these urgent steps are taken to rescue our institutions. So in this book, I defined what is codes, rules, and values. I went further to explain what should be the ideal relationship between students and their teachers, students and their co-students, students and their parents, students and elders, students with the public, with the society, and the special relationship between students and their books. Finally, I recommended in this book to all secondary schools and colleges for an improved moral, ethical relationship and standards. It is a book of 11 chapters. In chapter 1, I define what is codes. What are codes? Codes and conducts. What are codes? Why is there need for codes to be observed in every institution? Chapter 2, I talk about rules. Rules are guiding principles. They are moral guiding principles, ethical guiding principles, without which no child will grow up to be responsible. In chapter 3, I talked about values. I talked about values. What are the things our young people should be taught to hold dear to? What are those character values, those behavioral values our younger ones should be taught and made to adhere to? So chapter 3 deals with values. Chapter 4, college students. I took time to talk about the season, the time span of a college student, how important it is, the activities they should engage themselves, the activities that should be, scheduled and programmed for them to go through in order for them to be nurtured properly into adulthood. In chapter 5, I talked about the relationship that exists between the student and his teacher. It's a special relationship. A teacher has an important role to play in the life of a child, in the life of a pupil or a student. So I talked about that. Chapter 6, I talked about relationship with co-students. What is an ideal relationship between schoolmates, classmates? How should they relate to one another? What should be the activity rate? How should they relate to each other? I talked about that. In chapter 7, I talked about the relationship between students and their parents. Students and their parents. How are they supposed to behave at home? How are they supposed to treat their parents at home? How should they appreciate their parents for the contribution and the sacrifices they are making for their future? And in chapter 8, I talked about other relations. What should be the relationship of the students to other family relations, extended family relations? In chapter 9, I talked about the relationship between a student and an elder, whether he's from the same family or is from outside. How should students behave towards elders? How should they treat elders? I talked about that in chapter 9. In chapter 10, I talked about relationship with a society, relationship with the public. How should a student conduct himself in the public domain? How should students be perceived from the people outside? I talked about that in details. And chapter 11, I talked about the student's relationship with his books. Students should marry their books. Students should love their books. Students should love the classroom. Students should exercise themselves mentally, academically, by reading. They should develop the ability to read. So it's a great book. It's a great book for students. It will be a great book for institutions, colleges, secondary schools to put in their library for their students to read and acquire these necessary wisdom. I believe this book will bless you and bless your child. So I ask you to call or to write us and place your order now. God bless you. Thank you so much for being part of today's review. For more information on how to get the books, please call the numbers on the screen and also meet us on different social media platforms. God bless you.